Hey, my name's Cary and welcome back to my YouTube channel where we touch on all things mindset, motivation, and manifesting. Today, there's a reason why you clicked on this video, and it's because you needed to hear that struggle you're facing, that adversity that seems insurmountable, that challenge that just won't go away. You've got what it takes to move through it. Don't quit. You have the resilience. You have that relentless spirit in you to make it through. And if you doubt any little bit of that, in this video, I'm going to give you a few examples and hopefully provide the motivation and insight for you that you've got everything it takes and why you should keep going. We've all felt it, that wanting to just throw the towel in, give up, the urge to quit. And it sucks even to think about that. Right? The shame, the guilt that comes along with that, thinking you're not good enough to accomplish whatever it is, or you couldn't face that challenge or overcome it. It sucks. I know that because I've been there, right? And it doesn't matter if it's like a small thing, like a little tiny thing, or something massive in your life. And you know what? I've seen my share of both. Little things we can all relate to those. Not making a sports team, not getting a job, asking somebody out, they said no, or whatever, right? That happens, okay? But those big moments in life, right? For me, one of the biggest ones was that moment where I realized, whatever you want to call it, that my marriage was over, right? Just that acceptance of something that I felt was going to be a forever thing, and I could, no problem, I would succeed at it, and there'd be nothing that could ever hold me back, and all of a sudden, wasn't there anymore. And that led me, if you know me about my story, you can go back in the videos, but little insight on it is, it led me to a moment where I sat in my garage, in my truck, was ready to do up my seatbelt, and then didn't do it up that day and said, you know what, I'm done. Like within 10 minutes, I'm driving this truck into a wall somewhere or something like that. And I was just kind of sitting there thinking about how that was gonna happen. And that it wasn't a voice, but that presence, that connection to something bigger. It doesn't matter to me what you believe in, call it whatever you want, but there is more than us, our physical beings out there in this world. And they see us in our greatness and guide us and support us and want the best for us. And that presence connected with me and said, not today, Cary, right? And I said, why? And it explained to me it was because of my kids. For me, that day, that moment was because of my kids, 3 kids. I have a daughter and 2 sons, and each one of them I absolutely cherish and I'm grateful for. And that was my reason to keep going in that moment. And I know I'm so grateful in that moment that I had those 3 to kind of lean on, even though they didn't know it, but I was leaning on them. And I guarantee there's people in this world right now that are leaning on you. You don't know it. And you are leaning on other people and they don't know it. That's why we need to be kind in this world. But in that moment anyways, and I'm going to come back to it, but I'm so grateful, and there's so many moments since that day that I can't believe that I actually was going to do that, and how many moments I've experienced that are just joy and fulfillment and happiness, and each day and every single moment when I experience one of those things, I sit back and I'm just so thankful that it's a blessing in my world to be, what a gift for that moment. And I want the same for you. And so my message today is that there's never so much in our world that we can't overcome it. Everything in your life that you thought was absolutely massive and couldn't make it through, you made it through. And this isn't any different. And every one of those challenges that we faced, that we thought was going to be the most devastating setback in the world, turned into something that is playing into the biggest comeback that you've ever had, the best comeback story in the world. And you're writing it right now. And in order for that to happen, you've got to be here. I'm going to share a couple of stats here quickly, that whether it was podcasts or studies, there's in all kinds of universities that are done and everything else, and in people that have contemplated or that have attempted suicide and didn't die as a result of it. Well, they interviewed those people. And the number is like 9 point something. So it's more than 9 out of 10. The minute that they went past that point of no return, whether it was they jumped off the bridge, took the pills, did whatever that thing was that they were going to do. The minute they did it, they wished they didn't. They regretted it. They wanted to take it back. And the only way that they could get that information is from people that survived those suicide attempts. And really, for me, I mean, thank goodness it didn't get to that point for me. And I mean, I'm telling you, the multiple gifts every single day of my life tell me that that wasn't the decision to make. That was so good that I mean, I'm so grateful that that presence from wherever it was, and that I'm here to share my story and support others in those struggles that may not have that connection to something bigger, or 3 kids to lean on and move forward. So that's what this is all about today. So and again, in just sharing a little bit of insight, I'm grateful that day I chose to press on, to move forward in the face of adversity and really uncertainty, fear, doubt. I had no idea, and the things that I told myself at that point in time, that no one's going to want to be with you, this, that, your kids think you're a failure, like, and all your friends and family, all that stuff. All the things I told myself, number one, if you're telling yourself those things right now, it's all BS. It's all crap. It's not true. They're lies. You can't think clearly in the storm, and that's okay. But you just got to know that you can get through it. And what tells me, one of the biggest things that tells me that is I had conversations with both of my kids, but my older 2 previously, and shared with them that I contemplated that day. And, and their reactions were similar but different in each one of them. And my youngest, I was just able to have that conversation a few weeks ago. And honestly, my youngest, he's about to turn 13, and I remember sharing with him, I said, dude, like, there was a day where I'd given myself 10 minutes to live. Shared the same story I shared with you earlier in this video. And then I said to him, and he's like, so you like just wouldn't have been around? And I'm like, yeah. All the birthday parties, all the camping trips, all the coaching coaching him in sports and tournaments, and the Christmas mornings, and all the laughs, and all those little things, the lessons, the things that I've been able to share and teach as a result of still being here to support that. I said, I wouldn't have been here for any of them. And that tore me up inside to even think that I considered that. But to see the look on his face in that moment, he's like, whoa, like I couldn't imagine living my life without my dad. And that is another one of those, not that you need validation or reassurance, but I'm telling you, that was the biggest one, like in the last few weeks for me. And that push for me to speak your truth, and especially for men, right? Like in that point, I wanted to talk to people, I wanted support, I wanted help, but I didn't want to tell anybody because I didn't want to feel, I already felt it. I didn't want to look weak or have people think I was, soft and couldn't handle my crap, and or maybe you're not okay mentally or whatever. And I mean, yeah, you know what? I did have my moments, and I still have my moments. I'm a work in progress. At no point do I ever claim to be at the finish line or perfect. But that's what this is about. Sharing my story in the hopes that I can inspire you to grow, to continue your journey of becoming your best self. And that's what I'm doing right now. So I'm telling you, your breakthrough is so close, but you've got to decide to claim it. Push forward. It's always the darkest right before the light. The storm is always the most intense right before it lets up. Wherever you're at in your world, whether it's something small, is it something with your health and fitness, a diagnosis, a goal you've wanted but you haven't been able to achieve, something in your career, finances, relationships, lack of relationships, wherever you're at, you're so close. You're so close. I see you. And I don't know exactly where you are, but I've been close to where that is. And I know what it's like to cry myself to sleep at night to the point where you feel you have no tears left, and that no one knows you feel that way. No one cares. No one sees you. You're not invisible. There are so many people in this world that love you right now, that support you, that want to be a part of your world. You just have to be willing to let them in. Reach out. You don't have to do it alone. It doesn't mean you're soft. That vulnerability shows courage, shows strength, shows that you're willing to fight for what you believe is true, what you deserve. And you will be rewarded for that. The universe will reward you for that bravery and that courage. So there's so many, and in case you're curious, I mean, in the last 5 years since that moment, I mean, I could write volumes and volumes of books and make all kinds of podcasts and vlogs, and that you wouldn't have enough time to write or read or watch them all, of the moments of beauty that I have had since deciding to live and move forward and push on. Don't quit. And that is for you. There's so many things out there. There's moments in your future that you don't imagine how great they are. You will be happier than you've ever been before. You will be loved and be able to love more than anything you felt was imaginable. The fulfillment, the joy, it is all on its way to you. You just have to keep going, one day at a time, 1 minute at a time. Sometimes that's what it's like. I know. And it's meant for you. So you're not alone. You don't have to do it alone. I know a lot of times you feel like you need to, you gotta, but you don't. There are so many people out there. There's professionals, right? Doctors, psychiatrists, psychologists, counselors, therapists. Reach out. People that have been in a similar situation. And I want to say, no one knows exactly where you're at, but people have been in a similar situation and they've overcome it, and they're successful. If you don't believe it, Google it. That's what I did. It's one of the first things I did. Google men that were divorced and were successful after it. And I'll tell you, the list blew my mind. And that's where that little flicker of light comes from, way off in the distance, that there was hope for me. And that is what kept me going. And whatever that flicker is for you that provides that hope, that gives you the ability to dream, to know that you can do it, you can make it, look for it, reach out. And if you don't know, if you have no clue who to reach out to, who to talk to, where to go, reach out to me. I see you. I care. And we'll get you pointed in the right direction. May not be me, but I'll make sure that we find someone that can connect you to where you need to be to support you along your journey, so you can experience all those moments that I'm telling you, they are calling for you. This world needs you in this place for the things that you will contribute in this world. So that's my message today. Deep breath for me outside. I am grateful that I'm here to take that breath today. So if this resonated with you, I invite you to save it, like it, share it with a friend or someone you know that may need it, or come back to it another day. Man, I'll tell you, if I had this video 5 years ago, I would have watched it over and over and over, because it's exactly what I needed to hear. And I'm so glad that I'm able to produce and put something like this out today, because I couldn't find that message when I needed it. I was so grateful that I had a very kind friend that was literally, to me, an angel from above that was able to support me through that time. And those people are out there for you too. So like, share, like I said, share with a friend, come back to it as many times as you need. If I can support you at all, reach out to me. You can find me at carykish.com, on all social media at carykishcoaching. And yeah, let's connect. I'm happy to have a conversation, because that conversation, like I said, if that fans your flames to keep going, flips your switch to do something different, try something new, become who you were meant to become in this world, it's worth every single minute of it for me. So again, I'm grateful for this beautiful day. I'm grateful for you for sharing a few minutes of your world with me. And I look forward to seeing the next one. If this video, again, if it resonated with you, you can check out this next video that's coming up on the screen right now, where we talk about all kinds of things, like I said, mindset, motivation, and manifesting. And I want to share that no matter where you're at in life, keep going. It's okay to make mistakes. It's okay, because it's making you stronger. As always, peace, love, and positive vibes your way.